Hello and welcome to Angels of Purpose Ministries, where we feed your soul food, food for your soul. And we're going to get started in just one moment. Let me put my information up here as I have been doing for the last few times. Let's see here. Get this. Just give me one moment here. Get all of this information in here. All right. All right. So today I've heard some things. Some people are frustrated with the response of some people in the community of them voting and not voting, and the efforts of the black churches specifically. Let me just say this. I don't know what everybody else did, but what we did, and I'm one of the announcers. I am the youngest minister in Union Missionary Baptist Church. And Evangelist Crystal Brown. For our announcements, we made the announcements to go out and vote. We talked about it, how important it was. And also on my podcast, Angels of Purpose Ministries Let's Talk About It series podcast, which this will be going on that. I talked about it. I told people who were running, what they stood on. I also said that Miss Tracy Williams was the person for the magistrate court to vote for. I also said Keisha Lance Bottom or Justin Estevez. And I went down the list of, the people who I thought would be beneficial to the community. I also said that Pastor Justin Lucas would not be able to win against the Republican nominee. And I had researched Mr. Kelly Esty. Did my research on him, and I knew he had a better resume, okay? And I knew in the major cities he probably would win and beat Pastor Justin Lucas of Center Friend and Church Without Walls, right? Also offered Pastor Justin Lucas my help, but his team, didn't respond to it. Which I could have gave them information on. Kelly SD, I could have helped them with their platform, their website, and all of that. So when Pastor Justin Lucas said he did all he could to win, I knew just getting these endorsements from the pastors here, because I said on my podcast that Kelly SD, Dr. Kelly SD, who has a doctorate degree in poverty systems and how to work throughout that, which is what we're going to need for what's about to come. Because what people don't understand is you might be living well now, but by the time school year starts in the fall again, because school is about to be out for the kids, it's last day. I already went and said my goodbyes to my kids at my school. And then I had errands, and I got to do stuff and get stuff planned for the summer to have these kids something to do, working with different churches, communities, and organizations to get that done. But anyway, when all of these pastors started endorsing Pastor John Lucas, or I should say Justin Lucas, that's his name, Pastor Justin Lucas, I don't know why they were endorsing him when they didn't help him with his platform and help him with the information to have a good stance and run on it, right? And most of the people who endorsed him, some of the people were from, out of town. Some were in District 8, some were in another district that is not even covered anyway. But the pastors in Moultrie and Sylvester who endorsed him, and he did win Colquitt County by 9 votes. He did win Worth County. He won some of the rural areas, but the bigger cities, he lost, right? He did better than I thought he was going to do, but I knew he would never have a chance against Scott. And so that is why I pushed for Kelly Esty, which he won. Now, one of my candidates who I pushed for did not win, and that was Miss Miracle. I didn't push for her as well, but as much as I pushed for Kelly Esty and Keisha Lance Bottoms or Justin Estevez, because I gave people a choice. I said either Keisha Lance Bottoms or Jason Estevez. But for the most part, a lot of the candidates that I talked to you all about and said for you all to choose, I'll say at least 75% of them won the Democratic nomination. So what I say, I do my research and I do understand and know stuff and not just trying to talk up and look good. I do my research. Now, as far as there were some things said about none of the community leaders. And right now, I don't know if people recognize me as a community leader, but I do a lot of things behind the scenes. And I'm the one who research information and get information to folks. And I tell people, if need me, hey, this is what I can do. This is what I can help you with. Do they usually call and ask? Now, some do. But the ones who be putting out there, oh, ain't nobody called me in Northwest District and da-da-da-da, all of this stuff. You call them and say, or you tell them in a meeting, hey, this is how I can help you. This is how I can be beneficial. I have some ideas. We will see if they call back, right? We'll see if they're truly trying to help the people of Northwest District, Northwest Moultrie, or if, it's all about whatever it is for them. What I can say from what I've learned in this community so far from being back from the Midwest and traveling all over the country for about a decade, doing political work and other stuff, right? Working with at-risk youth and working with Working America, AFL-CIO, ACLU, working with the National Democratic Party. Actually, I knew the actual Democratic Party person when I first started working in politics. I was right up under and had like a direct phone line to the person at that time who was over the Democratic Party, the national. So that's why when I see how things go on in Moultrie, I have to remind myself Moultrie is like 50 years behind everybody else. And the mindset of people is different, okay? What they really want to do, even in the schools, they press more so teaching English and math so the principals can look good at specific schools. Not all the schools may be like this, but one specific school for sure. And they ask the social studies teachers to have the folks just learn about or read a book for like 4 months out of the school year, and they're not teaching them social studies, government history, how stuff runs in the government. And so what I tell the kids, y'all are so far behind where I was when I was your age. And even the gifted ones are only on the normal level of where my peers were when I was their age, right? But yes, I was gifted. I'm still gifted today. Thank God. To God be the glory for all I get. Where the people want to use my high IQ and my the solutions that I bring forth to the community, that's them. I will say this though, a lot of people, and then I'm gonna go into my PSA announcements. But a lot of people, when they know you're outspoken, when they know you're articulate, when they know you have solutions to problems they can figure out, they feel threatened. And then when they also know that they have been in the community and placed in certain positions that keep people oppressed, they're really funny, right? Now, what I realize, and sometimes I hear people always talking about whether it's Sunday school or in church, they'll say, oh, Trump and this administration is so bad. But they don't look at the old boys club in this community where, all the black male preachers who try to take credit for the women who do the work in the churches, right? My church is so this or that, or the church grows because of me, when the women do most of the work. And if you take out the women from all of the churches, who would it be for them to minister to, right? I said this in the church I attend. I said, if you took out all the women and if you just left the men in here, the only men would be in here are the men with titles and positions, which that's in most churches. As if a man doesn't have a title position because men are a lot driven by ego, then they wouldn't be at church at all. It's having that power and the need to feel I am the head, I am the leader. But if you're the head and the leader, then let's get solutions. What people don't realize is that instead of all these programs that has a lot of preaching, you need programs that have a lot of teaching people how to manage their money, teaching people how to, getting them connected with farmers. So if for some reason the grocery stores go down or there becomes a food shortage, people have community gardens they can go to. They have gardens in their backyard or in their front yard or at the churches. They have the food that doesn't, go to waste or what's the word I'm thinking of? That you don't have to throw out so quickly. And that comes in like boxes, and the dry foods and the dry beans and the rice and all of that kind of stuff, right? And I've said this before. I've even given an outline and a plan once I read Project 2025 to the two different ministerial alliances. I think one is no longer in existence and the other one still is. Two different ministerial alliances. Gave them the outline guideline. First ministerial alliance I gave it to here, which Matt Edward now right beside, they used to meet at the church where Now We Win is, over here by Charmaine. I don't even know if that ministerial alliance is still in place, but when I first met with them, they were like, well, people here in Moultrie don't do anything until it's too late, or they get upset, or they're going to think you're a conspiracy theory. Okay. But you're supposed to be leaders, and you're supposed to be the pastors, and you're not preparing your people for what's about to come. You're not even educated or informed about Project 2025. You're not educated or informed about the agenda that's going on. Like, let me tell you what they just put in place. Now they just put something in place where these people don't even have to test the water to make sure it's pure and clean, and not without bacteria for us anymore. So let me just tell you all this. Here's my PSA announcements, and then I get back to my soapbox. My PSA announcements: please get water purification tablets to have stocked up in your household. Okay. Oh, I know what I was going to say. The non-perishable items, food items, you need to start stocking up on them. All the other countries who are not third world countries have been telling their people, like France and different other places, have been telling people to stock up because there's a famine coming, because of the war that Trump let Netanyahu convince him to get involved in with Iran. So, and that means people can get fertilization for their farms, and then the gas prices are going high, and there's different other stuff, and you're going to start feeling it in the fall. So I hope you have the non-perishable food items stocked up at your homes. You also need to have, because Trump is saying that they don't have to test water anymore to make sure it's clean before drinking. So you want to make sure you buy purified water. But what if the purified water runs out, the bottled water? You want to have your water purification tablets that you just drop into your gallon or 4 to 8 gallons of water. It takes 30 minutes for the 30 minutes to do its work, and then it's clean and ready for you to drink. Okay. Now, these are things that you won't hear from your pastors and the leaders in this community because they hadn't done the research on it. They might glaze over it, but they hadn't did any detailed research, okay? But they want to stand up on the pulpits and say, oh, you need to make sure you have knowledge, understanding, and do your research and know what you're talking about. But they're the main ones who don't know what they're talking about, especially with current events, especially with the political stuff. And when you go back, and I've said this before, in the civil rights movement and different movements that came, black women have always led, right? May not be given credit, but black women has always led the fight, because we're bold and we do what we need to do to take care of our families, right? But in the churches, the black pastors used to be, stand up and speak, but they're so afraid of the blowback. They're so afraid of the Caucasian old boys club saying, okay, well, you're not going to be able to have your 501c3. Yeah, in Project 2025, they say whoever doesn't, kiss Trump's ring and this administration's ring, they want to take their 501c3. But look, let me tell you one other thing. Trump just made it so the insurrectionists and the white nationalists and the ones who kiss his ring, he just made a slush fund for a $1.76 billion slush fund. So those people who supposedly those people who got they're criminals now from misjustice, which no, they tried to storm the Capitol. They killed policemen. They attacked and assaulted policemen. They tried to kill some of the Congress people, even the Republican ones, at that time. And Mike Pence, they didn't care about any of that. But now he wants to give them money. And then Julia, that lawyer from New York that I do not like, who used to be mayor of the New York. These are the kind of people who are able to get money and get what you call reparations. But they don't have money for Medicare and Medicaid, and they want to say Medicare and Medicaid is bleeding this country dry. No, that's what they want you to believe, but that is not the truth. What's bleeding this country dry are the Republicans who have money to do what they want to do and put money into defense, Department of Defense, which they're calling Department of War now, and have money to, make sure that they can do illegal trading and all of this kind of stuff and whatever they want to do, right? And redistrict maps in the middle of elections and right before elections when that's not supposed to happen, right? Take away your voting and civil rights and all of this kind of stuff. Let me say this. Please, as many people as you can, pass this stuff. Let's Talk About It series too, because people need to know about how to vote, what to vote for, who to vote for, how local government works, and the current events that I cover. Now, today is Wednesday, so my podcast at 5, I will recover some of this stuff as well, because more people will be off and be able to watch it and listen to it, because they'll be off of work. And it'll be right before they go to, some people going to their Bible study, or right before on their way home, or whatever it is the case, right? So, but I wanted to tell you about the $1.76 billion for the slush fund that Trump has basically is giving his white nationalist, white supremacist groups, who should be terrorist groups, but they're calling them patriots, right? And then I also wanted to tell you about the purification water tablets, because they won't have to test the water to make sure it's clean and good for the drinking, especially in the neighborhoods of the black and brown, okay? So I want to make sure we talk to you about that. All right, so I will get deeper into that about the water, the link to water and budget cuts of public trust at my 5 o'clock Let's Talk About It series podcast meeting. But please make sure you tell everybody you can today at 5. They don't want to miss it. Today at 5. They don't want to miss Angels of Purpose, whether they do it on Facebook. And what I'm going to try to do is have it set up. I'm going to try my new software system where I can broadcast on my different platforms, so I can get ready for this system that I'm going to introduce into the church organization that I do their media for. But for sure on Facebook, it will be live. And then I will also post it up on Instagram, Threads, and Substack, and of course YouTube. All right, and I will have the YouTube link up there. But make sure you pass the word. 5 o'clock, people don't want to miss today. 5 o'clock. And it's going to be every Wednesday at 5 o'clock. That way I'm not bumping into anybody's Bible study, okay? And then every Saturday at 3 o'clock, unless there's a funeral that I have to be at. And when I say I have to be at, that means that I'm, on program to read or whatever it is I have to do, scripture, prayer, whatever, or a program that the church said yes to that I can, get out of or whatever. So every day at 3 o'clock on Saturdays, and every Wednesday at 5 o'clock. Every Wednesday at 5, every Saturday at 3. Angels of Purpose, Let's Talk About It series podcast. If there are any leaders or people who are organizers or anybody who has something to say, you are welcome to join. I will tell you what we will be speaking on for today. You can email me and contact me, and I will add you on to the Facebook Live, and we will, talk and educate and empower people on what's going on in this community, locally, in the state, national, and the world. politics, current events, and spiritual transformation or spiritual things that can help people as well. Okay. So I will see you then. Again, that is in a few hours at 5. So that is less than 5.5 hours, looks like, that I will be back on. So make sure you spread the word and let people know. Have a blessed and prosperous day.